fall as well. Welcome back in for another shave video. In my video of my top 10 soaps for fall and winter, I mentioned that starting Thanksgiving I would be doing the 12 shaves of Christmas and introducing 12 soaps I like that remind me of the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so I didn't include those that would be in that list in the fall winter. If I didn't have this list of 12 shaves of Christmas, some of these would definitely be in that top 10 list. So we're going to start today on the first day, the first shave of Christmas, the scent of a coniferous tree. So this is from Stirling Soap, and it has essential oils of Scots pine, fir needle, and Texas cedarwood, also with lichen essential oils. And all those are essential oils. So Scots pine, fir needle, Texas cedarwood, the lichen oils, all essential oils. So there's no fragrance oils in this. In other words, no artificial fragrance. It's all essential oils fragrance. It's been added to Stirling's Coniferous soap, or to their soap base for the coniferous scent. Now this is one of the first scents, I would say in the first 5 soaps I bought, and I love it very much. I was actually saddened to see that they did away with it in the body lotion and body butter they had, because I would often use that after a shower, particularly during the winter, to help combat dry skin. But that's going to be the shave today with the coniferous soap on this first shave of Christmas. I'm going to move into the coniferous aftershave. I'll talk about that then, and I'll actually, right before that, the coniferous splash, aloe splash, and then we'll finish up with the coniferous balm. Today I'm going to use, fittingly, Stirling's Li'l Brudder. I think that's the name of this one, Li'l Brudder. It's a little short brush, synthetic knot, a Plaisant style knot. So I actually wanted to start this series on Thanksgiving, but I decided to do it a little bit earlier, a couple of days earlier. One, just to fit in enough shaves between now and Christmas, but also I wanted to use it as an introduction a little bit to wet shaving, particularly for people who might be thinking of gifts to buy the man in their life, a son, a brother, a husband, a boyfriend, uncle, nephew, and or if you're a man and you're constructing like a Christmas list, somebody's asking what to get you, I thought I would talk a little bit about wet shaving. So double-edged razor blades are what are used in wet shaving that involves double-edged safety razors and not straight razors. Wouldn't recommend anybody start with a straight razor with traditional wet shaving. This is very similar to cartridge shaving that most people will be familiar with. In this shave I'm using the Platinum from Persona, the red box, and you can see on the outside that's what a blade looks like. You can see it here too as well in the razor. This razor I'm using today is the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Ascension Twist Adjustable Copper Razor. So that's the head of the razor, and I'm going to put the base plate on here. You see that, and then put the handle on. And most razors you're going to find out they're not adjustable, and that's what I would recommend to start with, a non-adjustable razor. I will put like a recommended set of razors and first soaps and stuff like that in the description box below as a gift guide for those wanting to buy something for someone for Christmas related to wet shaving. Let's start with talking about, to me, what the biggest draw of traditional wet shaving is, and that's the shaving soaps. I've already introduced you to the scents that are present in this particular soap, Coniferous from Stirling Soaps out of Arkansas. But this is sort of a hard puck soap. You can see I pushed on it, it barely gives with my finger. So you take your brush, you wet a brush. This is a synthetic brush, meaning it's not a boar or badger or horsehair brush. There are some horsehair brushes. I don't own one. A lot of people swear by them, although they do require some special care. Do have a number of boar and badgers, which are have properties. They hold heat a little bit better than the synthetic, but a synthetic is what I would suggest you start with. It's no fuss, low maintenance. So we're going to go into the puck, and you can create a lather in this puck because this is a shallow bowl. It's probably would overflow really quickly. So there's two primary ways of creating a lather for traditional wet shaving. One is through a bowl lather, and you can use like a deeper bowl, a shave bowl. I have this scuttle here, which you would put hot water in. It's kind of a well on the outside that keeps your shaving soap hot. But I'm going to today just do a traditional, or not necessarily traditional, but a face lather. So I'm not going to lather in a bowl, but lather on my face. So I've loaded the brush with the soap, which you can see is rather pasty. And so what you do is you dip the brush in and go in here to the face. Now, advance warning, and those of you that have watched my videos before know, I am a messy latherer. This is a short handle brush. It's be great for travel. I really like it in terms of the thickness of the handle. It's easy to, it's good and thick, so easy to grip. It is on the short side, so it wouldn't be probably the best if you're going to do it like a deep bowl lather. You can see I get stuff everywhere when I'm shaving, but I generally have a shirt that I use for shaving. So if I'm getting ready and before I go to work, I would obviously change the shirt and put on a shirt for work, so it doesn't matter what I get on it. Now this is still pretty pasty. Now this is the part of wet shaving, believe it or not, I mean, at least to me, actually using a safety, double-edged safety razor is not the most challenging part of wet shaving. The most challenging part is learning how to build a lather, particularly with harder puck soaps. Now, with some of the creams out there, it would be easier, and I'm not talking about the cream in a can. This is part of what wet shaving is all about. You're avoiding the cream in the can, which usually has a lot of ingredients that are not good for your health, not good for your skin. Your liver has to filter all the stuff, anything that sort of contacts your body, and so the more natural products that are in these, the natural ingredients that are in these wet shaving products are better for you. So I'm not talking about the traditional type of cream you think about coming in a can, although you can use that. But there are creams out there that would come in containers very similar to the one I showed you from this soap, but the soap itself is much softer. There's even sort of an in-between category called a crope, so not a cream or a soap, but a crope. But if you're using a hard puck soap like this, some soaps are what we in the wet shaving community would call thirsty, meaning you have to add quite a bit of water to get them to lather the way you want them to. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, if you're either looking at wet shaving for a prospective gift idea or you're considering wet shaving yourself, you may think, this is a whole lot of fuss and for just getting shaved. I've got the can of blue goo and my cartridge razors that cost $1 million a piece. Not really, but I'm just talking about that those cartridges, right, are expensive. Now, this is true. It is extra work to do traditional wet shaving. But let me talk about why I do this, and then we can get into why maybe other people do it. I may or may not shave under my nose today, but I'm going to go ahead and get there. But before I get into why it's worth the effort, I'm just going to show you there. See, with a lot of soaps, as you add water, like you dip your brush into the water, you get a thicker and thicker lather for your shave. Okay. Now, first of all, why does it take more time, and then why is it worth it? It takes more time because, one, you have to, make your lather. You're making a fresh lather, if you will, rather than a pre-created lather for you. So that takes time to build the lather. Also, if you look at most modern cartridge razors, they have 3, 4, 5 blades in them. And so when you take a single swipe with a modern cartridge razor, disposable cartridge razor, to say disposable, you can get several shaves out of them, obviously, particularly as expensive as they are. But it's not just one blade going across your face on one pass, a pass being like, going across skin one time. You're getting like 3, 4, 5 razor blades going across your skin. So honestly, the cartridge razors are a bit more efficient. You're going to get a quicker shave, but it's not going to be as close, in my opinion, and other people's opinions, as close to a shave or high quality of a shave. You have a greater likelihood of razor burn. If you think about it, that first blade is taking away the cream, which is sort of your protection, which is your lubrication, your It's what makes the razor glide more easily and help cut the hair, the whiskers. So it's removing that first layer of shaving cream, and maybe certainly that second one would be taking it away. And so now those subsequent blades are just hitting skin with no protection from the soap. So it takes time to build the lather, and because you only have one blade, it's actually a double-sided. The reason it's called double-sided is because those blades are reversible, meaning there's an edge on both sides of the razor, right? The bottom and the top, or it doesn't matter bottom or top, but two sides there. And so you can rotate your razor from one side to the other to use the blade, but nonetheless, because you just have one blade and not 3, 4, or 5, or 7, or whatever ridiculous amount they're putting in cartridge razors these days, then you have to make multiple passes, because whereas with a cartridge razor you're making one pass and several blades are cutting, here you're just making a pass with one blade, right? And so you have to make multiple passes, and we'll talk about that as we go on. So this first pass we'll call with the grain. Now, as I start to shave, let me just to point out this, and then I'll get into the reasons why it's worth it, the extra effort. When you are shaving with a double-edged safety razor, you generally want to come in at about a 20-degree angle to your face, and you're applying no pressure. Now, that doesn't mean hold it off of your face. It just means let it rest on your face. And I tend to be a bit of a buffer, meaning I go back over a little bit the area I've just shaved. A lot of people would counsel against that and say just go down like once like that and don't come back. And but some of that's a matter of preference. You can hear the audio feedback there. Now that may sound painful or unpleasant to you. Let me assure you it's not. It's comfortable. I don't really feel the blade. I don't feel any stinging or anything like that. So one of the qualities we look for in a soap as wet shavers is we're looking for something that has good slickness. Not just primary slickness, meaning when you first come through, but also residual slickness, like the slickness that's behind. And that's good for a couple reasons. One, if you do have a place you want to touch up real quick and you don't want to completely re-lather, you can do that because you still have that slickness. Secondly, that secondary slickness or residual slickness tends to leave a good face feel even when you rinse with water. So you have sort of a moisturized and lubricated face, which is particularly important in the winter. So this pass I'm doing here with, again, about a 20-degree angle on the brush would be called with the grain. Now, the grain refers to the natural direction that your hair grows on your face, and it's different for different people. Everyone has different sort of patterns, and it's important to point out it's not just one area of your face. It doesn't all grow the same all over your face. It tends to vary from person to person. And for me, on the sort of largest part of my face, meaning my sort of cheeks and the sides here, it grows primarily, got a little high on my sideburn there, straighten that up a little bit. It primarily grows sort of down, and so this is with the grain, right? Now, primarily on my neck, the hair grows in a lot of different directions. Particularly here, there's swirls. It grows in several different directions. But to keep it consistent, I'm just going down on this first pass, which we would call the with the grain pass. All right, good first pass. I'll get a little closer on the goatee as we go through the subsequent shaves. Okay, now as we go into the second shave, which we'll do what's called across the grain. And a lot of people are able to do again, messy lather getting it in the ear there. A lot of people are able to do a single pass shave, particularly with more aggressive razors. But as a beginning wet shaver, you want to find a razor that's mild. So that's what I'll put in my recommendations in the wet shavers sort of Christmas gift buying guide linked in the description box. So you want a mild razor as a beginner. So we call this one across the grain because we will be going across the grain rather than with the grain. We'll be going across the grain. Now, why is all this worth the extra trouble, extra time? Well, first of all, it forces you to slow down. And I know in our busy lives, many of you probably don't think you have time to slow down, which is all the more reason to intentionally slow down. I first got into wet shaving through the following pathway. One was an interest I developed in essential oils, like particularly the usefulness of oils like lavender to calm you, or peppermint to kind of pep you up a bit. Bergamot also helps to regulate mood and help you feel a little more positive, as does like mandarin orange. And these are backed up by scientific experimental studies, true experimental designs that have validated the usefulness of the oils. Excuse my voice, I've been sick for a couple of weeks. I have to kind of line up the goatee in a minute. Now, sometimes when I talk, I forget which direction I'm going, or I just start talking and don't pay attention. So I may have gone the wrong direction there. So there's better videos out there that are tutorials on how to wet shave. But I want to just incorporate it into this first shave of Christmas. Okay, so one, helps you slow down. It's kind of a self-care activity. Now these scents on soaps will remind me of several things. One, some of them are just good because, again, certain essential oils have been associated with different health outcomes, a lot of different mental health outcomes. But also they remind me of scents from my childhood, scents throughout my life. It reminds me of my dad, my grandfathers, my uncles. And so it sort of, if you will, sort of reconnects me to my masculinity, if that makes any sense. Like, it's that brotherhood, fathers and sons through the years. And so shaving, obviously, something men do. Not all men. Some grow a full beard and don't even trim it. That's fine. That's you. I used to have a full beard. But so it slows you down. You get to enjoy the scents. Now this is going to be against the grain. So this would be with the grain. So we're going to go against the grain. I'm going to start at the bottom here. So I kind of see it as a self-care activity. And if you take the time, and this shave I kind of kept it simple, but if you take the time to like wet a towel with hot water, wring it out so that you have a hot towel, use that on your face before you apply the cream. You might even use a pre-shave, which, you know, I wouldn't necessarily recommend you start with that as a new shaver, because you don't want to complicate the process when you're getting started. But as you advance, you may want to incorporate a pre-shave. You may like it. Today I just wanted to go straight from the soap. And honestly, for most good artisan soaps, you do not need a pre-shave. But that hot towel experience is relaxing, and you kind of pamper yourself. Now, I most recently had my first hot towel shave at a barbershop in Louisville, Kentucky, when I went to visit my brother. And that was a great experience. It was relaxing. I enjoyed it quite a bit. But you can kind of mimic that at home with, you can get your lather hot in a scuttle bowl like this, or just have really hot water to dip your brush in to get it hot. But that hot towel sort of helps soften your whiskers and makes it easier to shave. It's just a really relaxing experience. If I'm not making a video, I will turn on some music I enjoy, you know, usually something, you know, soft or, you know, upbeat, but not like, you know, rage metal, which was what they were playing in the barbershop I went to, which was unfortunate. It's hard for me to relax to rage metal. Nothing against rage metal, just saying not my jam for trying to relax. Now, for a lot of people, this fourth pass would be totally unnecessary. I call this a pickup pass. And in fact, usually I don't put it on like that. I'll extract the lather from the brush. And this helps me, and again, excuse my voice and congestion, helps me to sort of feel if there's any areas I've missed and what I need to go back over. So this pickup pass for me is usually also against the grain, like that second pass that I did. But again, this would be with the grain. This is a cross grain on my second pass against the grain, third pass. This across grain, instead of going this way, I go this way and primarily pick up areas like below my sideburns that don't get picked up well on this pass. Also where my hair swirls here on my neck, you can still hear that. Hear a little bit of audio feedback picking up those whiskers. Now, the thing about a pickup pass is you don't want to chase the BBS too much. You don't want to chase that baby bottom smooth too much because it can easily lead to razor burn. Now, frequently I have to pick up on this first sort of across the grain pass along my sort of my jawline. You can still hear that feedback there. All right, let's see how we're doing. And again, no pressure. A little slight nick there. By the way, I didn't feel that at all, the nick, so as long as you don't use any pressure and you use, you know, roughly the correct angle, it doesn't have to be precise. You'll see it's, to me, as easy to use as a cartridge razor. It really has been. You just have to respect it. And again, a mild razor would be much easier to start with. All right, so I kind of just wipe off some of this soap in my hand. Then I'll rinse off and we'll get into the aftershave products, the after post-shave products. I'll wash all that out of my go-to. I just want to kind of do a couple things. One, feel if I feel any places I need to try to pick up. I think I got them all in that fourth pass. We're going to call that good for today. Kind of look at the goatee. I'm actually trying to expand it over a little bit to be a little wider at the bottom so my face is not symmetrical. So it's not always easy to tell about the goatee. We'll call that good for now. All right, so I'm gonna rinse off here and come back and we'll talk about the post-shave products. Okay. Now this post-shave routine I'm gonna show you is probably a little excessive, but this is Stirling's aftershave toner splash. It's actually their aloe witch hazel splash. So there's no alcohol in this. It's aloe vera, witch hazel. A lot of people use witch hazel as this first post-shave layer, so to speak. So you generally don't get much of a burn with these witch hazel based splashes. Witch hazel is an astringent, meaning it sort of helps take down inflammation, starts to help seal the pores, seal up any little nicks and cuts that you got as you're going along. Now we'll move on to the alcohol-based splash from Stirling. Now Stirling, if you excuse me just a second here, put the glasses on and see. Their alcohol-based splash actually has the denatured alcohol, witch hazel as well, then the essential oil, aloe, glycerin, and then hydrovance. So this has the witch hazel and aloe as well. You could really go with this, you know, but part of wet shaving is about sort of pampering yourself. So enjoying those scents Also, alcohol kind of disinfects things. Definitely feel the burn there from that alcohol-based splash. I did not shave my neck, obviously, but I like to put a little bit on there. Now, when you order a alcohol-based splash from Stirling, you get the option of getting it, particularly for those that are like traditionally not mentholated splashes. Some of theirs, like glacial margaritas in the Arctic, it is by nature highly mentholated. But coniferous, you could buy it just plain without any added menthol, or you can add it in regular menthol, or then glacial menthol, which is their more extreme level of menthol. And menthol gives just a cooling feeling to your face. Because, I associate this with like being in a forest, pine forest, that mentholated feeling of cool, like a cool breeze on a winter day, on a hike, or a fall day, is nice. So this is a nice one. In fact, I'm gonna do like just like another layer there. Make sure I get all the areas. This is wonderful. It's a wonderful, wonderful scent. And again, no artificial fragrance oils, all essential oils, which is one of the things I appreciate about a lot of Stirling's products. Many of them have only essential oils. A lot of them do have fragrance oils, which are fine too. I have many of those, but I do like the ones that are just essential oils. So now I'm going into the Coniferous aftershave balm, and this is more of a lotion or a balm. As usual, I got a little too much on my hands, and I'll work some in here. So I may just apply with one hand first. Yeah, I think I got my skin's thirsty enough for both hands of lotion. Oh yeah, that feels good. That was a really good shave. Really good shave. No major nicks, no major irritation. I see a couple little areas of potential razor burn. Grab kind of the secret weapon for that, the tin skin in the roll-on. Apply that to those areas where it's a little bit of irritation. It really helps to prevent ingrown hairs and soothe that irritation. We're going to call that shave done. So yeah, on the first day, or first shave of Christmas, wet shaving gave to me the scent of a coniferous tree. I look forward to seeing you in video 2 of the 12 shaves of Christmas when we'll get to the next scent. If you're interested in getting started in wet shaving, or interested in getting someone you love started in wet shaving, check the links out below for a beginner's guide and a gift guide for this holiday season. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.